Good morning, afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are on this beautiful planet Earth. Today I'd like to work a little bit with a sense that I know many of us have been feeling lost, forgetting the day, forgetting the time, not having an end to, oh, I don't really have to do that today, it can wait another day. And a kind of a leading to a loss of inspiration, a loss of willpower. And then the other side of that, found. What is it like when we wake up finding inspiration, new energy, new impetus, new get up and go? And then this sort of a zone where even though you have everything in the world around you, so many things, you could draw, you could paint, you could sing, you could dance, you could read, you could write, you could bake, you could sew, you could clean. So many walks in nature, so many things, but yet you are sensing this sad place. Almost like the breath has been taken out of you. So many of us have experienced these two extremes and then this sort of sliding spectrum in between. And it's quite a path, isn't it? It's a very, very rare and unusual time with its gifts and the treasures even of this lost part. There are gifts there too. And for me personally, it leads back to faith. That the sun is always shining even though there are many cloudy days. The faith that good will prevail. The faith that time will heal all wounds. And that love is the highest principle of the universe. Following the breath. The breath keeps going. There is a rhythm. Even if there's more stopping of the breath, embrace the stopping. Embrace the big sighs. The fears, it'll always be like this. Something's wrong. The fact that we know something's wrong is faith, knowing that right is always nearby. And sometimes on this path of awakening, we are challenged so deeply. There are trials where we might feel we're on the sea in a sailboat and there's no wind for the sails. There are many different types of trials. Trial by air, trial by fire. Many different types. But these are trials. And trials mean we are being challenged. And when we are being challenged, what do? We breathe, we find our ground. And we may have to ride it out. We can pray. We can walk in nature. Sometimes we don't even want to leave the house, or we can't leave the house. Sometimes those winds are knocked completely out of our sails. And that's okay. It's okay for a bit to discover what lives there too. Because what lives there are certain mysteries. And they're just ours to discover. We may have a piano nearby and we don't even want to touch it. Well, I love to sing and I haven't had the heart to sing, but I really notice when I do. I go, oh, I have the heart to sing again. Well, these have been very challenging times, and I have a music stand and I keep music on it and I walk to it on occasion and I sing a refrain or a verse or just a phrase. Each thing. It's not the best, but it is what it is, and that's fine. I have a lot of, you look over my shoulder, I have a lot of work to do still. I'll get to it. I have time. So from the angelic point of view or the bird's eye view, it's all right. It's okay. We can lose ourselves for little bits of time and do no harm. Have faith. Ride through the trials. So I want to work today with being found and showing you a gesture that may be helpful in guiding you. I'm going to bring us up a little higher so I can stand. And maybe you'll be able to see. I'll describe, but I want to show you this notion that I first learned in spatial dynamics with Jamin McMillan, and I'm sure I've tweaked it some, but it involves gesture, it involves a sense of how things live in our body, using our own will, so to speak, and not using our will, but opening and receiving, and then finding the balance of will and receiving at the same time. So let's stand for a moment together and just sense standing. Even with all our challenges and with all our gifts, we sometimes lose our ground. We sometimes lose our upright, our easy upright quality. And that's okay too. We say hello. We bring a hand to our heart area, our chest, our feeling center, and we say, this is okay too. I love you just the way you are. In all of your, Mother Teresa used to say, our distressing disguises of who we truly are. And we sometimes, that window opens and we get to see who we truly are. We get to enact it and remember and be it. And that is a gift, is it not? And that's why we practice, to be able to have our easy uprightness, standing on the earth, giving care. Each step is a loving kindness to the earth when we practice setting up a positive relationship, a living relationship to the earth, and being easily upright, supported from this earth, so that we can open and receive from above the wisdom that's there in the daytime and in the nighttime, and that we be in balance between these forces, easily, no, without effort. And yet we practice to, in a way, I've been saying this before, to find what is our alignment today. You know? So we take this every time we begin to do a standing practice, we come into these alignments, the forces below, the forces above. And you'll find many beginning videos of this which will lead you to a practice that then begins to have it just right away. There it is. So now from here, we bring our hands, the left on the heart, the right hand on top, just for a moment. We take a wider stance, wider than our shoulders. Our feet are more like this. And with our right hand and our right arm, I'm going to back up a little bit, speak a little louder. We take our index finger, both of them, the left and the right, and with the right I'm going to point upward, and with the left I'm going to be on a diagonal downward. So I have one hand pointing toward heaven and one hand pointing toward the earth. And as I shift my weight over onto that right foot, the left heel lifts. And now I'm going to intend, I'm going to look beyond my finger, and I'm going to imagine where I want to be. What is my destiny? Where do I want to go? And I focus my eyes a bit because or I can pretend I really want to see a bird high up on a tree. And sense the work in the body helping you. You may stop breathing for a minute or feel your guts kind of get tighter, the belly, and then we come down through the arm, down through the chest, and we look down beyond the other finger, pointing to the earth. We see a little ant. We're working very hard to see it. And we feel what it's like in the body, and we rest. Let's take that a step simpler. So, I'm going to imagine in front of me there is a bird far away on my property, and I'm going to point at it. I'm going to see it as there is that bird. And as I move forward, that heel lifts again, right? Because I'm very much, I am there. I want that. I'm starving. I want to eat that bird with a worm in the bird's mouth. It's that kind of intention. It's primal. You feel that in yourself. Takes a lot. It's a lot of juice, right? A lot of energy. And now that bird, that beautiful bird, is calling me, and I'm listening, and I don't know, actually, the bird's flying, and I don't know where my hand is going to end up, but I'm open to feeling, when does it want to stop? Where is it going? Oh, there I am, there I am. And I'm feeling my body now. For me, there's a different sense. It's a little lighter, a little more open. Let's try that difference now with the left arm. And there. And now, open, wonder. Imagine someone has a string tied on your finger, and you don't know where it's going, but you allow the finger to be led and for you to be led. And how's the breathing? wonder, being led, being drawn, aiming. Two extremes, a polarity, we could say. And what's the ideal in most situations? There's some situations that are called just for that, and some situations are called just for that. But when we want to have a balance, which is for most of life, we want to combine the two. So let's go back to our original gesture. This is called the diagonal gesture in the embodied life. We have our index fingers, and I'm going to try to find this dance between the will and the wonder, lost and found. And know where I'm going. Not quite sure. I have not the clarity or the crispness. But now I'm here and I'm going to open and still be directed. I'm going to look beyond my finger to the world above, to the unknown, and maybe see my future. And then I'm going to come through a channel, my arm, my heart forces, down to the finger towards the earth, maybe where I came from, my past, my history that helped form my individuality. And then I'm going to slowly come over and be drawn to the left. The right arm's down toward the earth and the right heel is lifted, and I'm thinking and feeling, oh, maybe this is where I came from. And going down through and where I'm going. Drawing, being drawn and aiming, finding a balance, being found, being lost, holding both at the same time, being at one with. The words may change for you. You can use different words. Those are just examples. Good luck this week. Take care. Be kind. And see how it goes. Until next time. Blessings.